You're talking about deportation. We're talking about immigration. How complicated the stories are that involve the people who are at the center of these debates.
We've been following Maria Garcia Juarez's story for the last 3 weeks, from the time she heard she'd have to go. She's 23 years old, leaving behind a husband in Southwest Detroit who's waiting for a transplant to treat his leukemia and a 1.5-year-old son with medical issues of his own. Juarez has not been to Mexico since she was a baby, coming to the U.S. at just 8 months old.
I don't know if it's gonna help me much, but I definitely don't mind sharing my story and, letting people know that this is not okay.
Maria Garcia Juarez is getting ready to leave for Mexico this week as she faces deportation.
My life is set here. I do not know the first thing about Mexico.
Juarez's problems go back to when she was a juvenile, using drugs and stealing cars in Salinas, California, a town where gangs and crime are a way of life. Since coming to Michigan more than 5 years ago, her record has been clean. Something of a model citizen.
A lot of us are in a place where our grandparents and great-grandparents really went through years and years and years of personal ordeal to get legal in this country. And for folks out there to be saying, Trump is evil, the Republicans are evil, they hate immigrants, that's a bunch of malarkey.
Let's take one more call here. Daniel in Detroit.
She broke the law. But at what point do we get a handle on this illegal immigration in this country? I didn't vote for Trump, but I'm all for getting a handle on this because it's completely out of control.
It was nice talking on the radio, sharing my story. It's just sad that, I get this responses that people just still don't understand the reasons why. And I know that matters to immigration. They just care. You did it, you're illegal, get out.
What is it, 11 million people in this country illegally right now?
If you look at what's happened over the last 8 years, we're at the lowest level of people coming here illegally in decades. This idea that there's a crisis now, I think, is somewhat manufactured. I guess I'd also make the point that perhaps the crisis is fueled by immigration law itself.
We've learned with this story, immigration law is complex. Getting more legal opinions is recommended in cases like Maria's. With just a few days left before deportation, she managed to find 2 more immigration lawyers to take a last look at her case.
Something that did come up in both conversations with both attorneys, they asked me why didn't I apply for DACA? And I told them every attorney has advised me not to, which I went through maybe 4 or 5 attorneys that had advised me not to go through DACA. I did not qualify.
And that's the means by which she could stay because she was brought here as a child.
Because she was brought here as a kid, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They both told me you still can apply. As far as they'll deny it, there's always a risk. They could, deny it due to their discretion. But under the law, you are still eligible because the law says, juvenile adjudications, because my things were not convictions, they were adjudications. So it's like under the law, it says that juvenile adjudications do not have immigration consequences. That's exactly what it says in the book. So both attorneys said it is worth a try.
With the clock ticking, Juarez now has her hopes riding on her immigration officer.
I went on Friday morning, I handed over the letter, and she told me, she said, I'm not going to see anything until I see the paperwork.
So she's giving you an opportunity to file the emergency stay.
As far as, her reaction and what I interpreted, yes, she's giving me an opportunity because she would have said no. And from my understanding, as long as it's submitted, if it's pending, I cannot be deported until they make a decision on it, as far as I understand.
Even with the emergency stay, Juarez doesn't expect it to last long. Maybe a week, a bit more or less, before Immigration and Custom Enforcement says she has to go. But then again, ICE could find in her favor and she might not have to go anywhere. It's a long shot, but that's what she's hoping for. The stay doesn't work. What does Friday look like?
So Friday, I have ICE is meeting me at the airport at 6:30 in the morning.
Still have the tether?
Yes, they said they will remove it at the airport. There's going to be some officers there waiting for me. They'll walk me through security, and they will remove my tether as soon as I board the plane, and they would wait until the plane departs. They're going to wait. I say goodbye to my family, and they wait till my plane departs. And if for any reason the plane would, do an emergency landing, whatever, they would get notified. So they definitely don't. She's like, we don't leave until we see the plane go.